Imagine a volcano so powerful that a single eruption could alter the course of human history. Do you have that image in your mind? Good. Now what if that volcano finally cracked open? Just think about it. Picture the seething magma, the earth-shattering tremors, the sky darkening with ash and smoke. This is no ordinary volcano. This is the deadliest, the most destructive, the most awe-inspiring volcano that has ever existed on our planet. And what if I told you this isn't a hypothetical scenario? What if I told you that this volcano, this behemoth of nature, has indeed finally cracked open? What could that mean for us? For our world? For our future? The implications are staggering, the potential aftermath unimaginable. So, are you ready to delve into the heart of this fiery giant? Are you ready to confront the unimaginable? Welcome to today's journey, where we'll explore the deadliest volcano of all time. So which volcano holds this terrifying title? It's none other than Mount Tambora in Indonesia. Nestled in the northern hemisphere of the beautiful Sumbawa Island, this colossal giant of nature stands tall, casting an ominous shadow over its surroundings. When we say colossal, we mean it quite literally. With a staggering height of over 9,000 feet, Mount Tambora isn't just any ordinary volcano, it's a stratovolcano, the most powerful and deadly of all volcano types, known for their explosive eruptions and steep conical shapes. In its heyday, before the infamous eruption of 1815, Mount Tambora was even higher, reaching an astounding 14,000 feet. It was a majestic sight to behold, cloaked in lush greenery, with a serene crater lake at its summit. But beneath this tranquil facade, a monstrous force was brewing, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash its fury onto the world. Now, let's delve into the history leading up to that catastrophic event. The early 1800s saw Mount Tambora in a state of dormancy, its once violent nature lulled into a deceptive silence. The locals, the Sangar people, lived in relative peace, unaware of the sleeping giant in their midst. However, in 1812, a series of rumblings began to shake the ground, a sinister prelude to the cataclysm that was to come. Fast forward to April 1815, and the world bore witness to the most powerful volcanic eruption in recorded history. The explosion was so immense that it was heard as far as 2,000 miles away. The eruption column reached an altitude of over 25 miles, ejecting a massive volume of ash, pumice, and pyroclastic flows that caused widespread devastation. But to truly understand the horror of Mount Tambora, we need to travel back in time to the days leading up to the eruption. Because, as we'll soon discover, the signs were there. The earth was whispering its warning, but the world was yet to comprehend the magnitude of the disaster that was about to unfold. The year is 1815. Unbeknownst to the inhabitants of the island, a disaster of unimaginable proportions is brewing beneath their feet. In the days leading up to the eruption, the island was a symphony of nature's warning signs. The ground beneath the villagers' feet, usually a reliable constant, became a source of unease. Earthquakes, small at first, began to shake the island with increasing frequency and intensity. Homes rattled, dishes clattered off shelves, and the villagers looked to each other with growing concern in their eyes. The wildlife too seemed to sense the impending doom. Birds that usually filled the skies with their vibrant colors and cheerful songs began to disappear. The once bustling jungles fell eerily silent as animals sought refuge from the looming catastrophe. Fishermen returned from the sea with empty nets, the usually abundant waters around the island now devoid of life. As the days passed, the very air around the island began to change. A heavy sulfurous smell hung in the air, a stark contrast to the usual salty sea breeze. The villagers, now accustomed to the tremors, barely had time to register this new anomaly before the ground beneath them began to rumble more violently than ever before. The first smaller eruptions began, like a pressure cooker letting off steam. Ash and smoke filled the sky, turning day into night. The villagers, now realizing the gravity of the situation, watched in terror as the mountain that had been a constant backdrop to their lives began to come alive in the most terrifying way. In the midst of the chaos, a chilling calm descended. The tremors ceased, the birds fell silent, and the villagers held their breath waiting for what would come next. And then on April 10, 1815, the earth cracked open. The eruption of Mount Tambora was a cataclysmic event, the likes of which the world had never seen. This event, occurring in the early 19th century, was an explosion of epic proportions. The force of the eruption was so powerful that it shattered the peaceful serenity of the Indonesian island, Sumbawa, where the volcano resides. Imagine, if you will, a mountain, once towering and majestic, now exploding with a force equivalent to 1,000 atomic bombs. The sky was painted black with ash and smoke, a grim masterpiece of destruction. The earth shook violently, trembling under the weight of the eruption's power, while the air became a hot, choking fog of volcanic debris. The immediate impact was devastating, wiping out entire villages and claiming tens of thousands of lives in the blink of an eye. But the human toll was just the beginning. The properties, the homes, the places people once lived and loved were reduced to nothing more than a charred, smoking ruin. The once vibrant green landscapes were now a monochrome of gray ash. The eruption had not only taken lives but had also erased the very essence of what made the island home for its inhabitants. The local environment was dealt a crippling blow. The lush tropical ecosystems that thrived on the slopes of Mount Tambora were decimated. The ash cloud blocking out the sun cast a long, cold shadow over the land. The island's wildlife, bewildered and lost, were forced to adapt to their new harsh reality or perish. The sea was not spared either. The eruption triggered tsunamis that swept across the Indonesian archipelago, bringing further ruin to coastal communities. The once crystal-clear waters turned murky, filled with sediment and debris. In the blink of an eye, Mount Tambora had transformed from a tranquil paradise to a hellish landscape of destruction and death. The world had witnessed the raw, unbridled power of Mother Nature in its most terrifying form. The event served as a grim reminder of our planet's volatile nature and the fragility of human existence in the face of such immense power. But the devastation didn't stop with the immediate aftermath. Mount Tambora's eruption had far-reaching effects, plunging the world into what came to be known as the Year Without a Summer. The ash cloud that billowed from the volcano had a global impact, leading to a significant drop in temperatures worldwide. This wasn't just a temporary winter chill, the entire planet was gripped by a cold that lasted for months, disrupting agricultural cycles and leading to widespread food shortages. The crops failed, livestock perished, and humans starved. From North America to Europe to Asia, famine reigned, claiming countless lives. But the suffering didn't stop there. The weakened population was then hit by a wave of disease, as the malnutrition made people more susceptible to illnesses. Typhus fever, for instance, swept across Europe, leaving even more devastation in its wake. These were the long-term effects of a single volcanic eruption. Now let's take a moment to consider the implications if a similar event were to occur today. Our world is interconnected like never before. A disruption in one part of the world can have a domino effect, impacting economies and societies globally. Imagine, for a moment, a sudden drop in global temperatures. Crop failures would not be just local but global, potentially sparking a worldwide food crisis. The resultant famine and disease could claim lives on an unimaginable scale, not to mention the disruption to our modern technology-driven lives. Ash clouds can play havoc with air travel and satellite communications, grinding our fast-paced world to a halt. And then there's the issue of climate change. We're already grappling with a warming planet. A sudden cooling, as was seen after Mount Tambora's eruption, could throw our climate systems into further disarray, with unpredictable and potentially catastrophic consequences. The eruption of Mount Tambora serves as a chilling reminder of the power of nature. So we've journeyed through time and witnessed the terrifying power of Mount Tambora, the sleeping giant that once lay dormant, until that fateful day when it cracked open the earth, releasing a force of destruction unparalleled in human history. We've delved deep into the days leading up to the eruption, painting a vivid picture of the calm before the storm. We've traveled through the eruption itself, a spectacle of fiery chaos and immediate devastation that left an indelible mark on the landscape and lives of those in its path. We've also examined the long-term effects and modern implications of this catastrophic event. The global climate disruption, the year without a summer, and the vast societal changes that followed. Mount Tambora's eruption serves as a potent reminder of the immense power nature holds. As we stand on the brink of potential volcanic eruptions today, we must remember the lessons of Mount Tambora, for in understanding the past we can better prepare for the future.